SoulCare, a moment to pause and process, sponsored by the National Benevolent Association. You are welcome to this brave space, where we can acknowledge our emotions, process our changing realities, and find support in one another. We invite you to join us as we practice the art of pausing and being present during these demanding, uncertain, and even unfair times.
We invite you just to breathe. As you breathe, try to gradually slow your breath. Pay attention and notice your heart rate relaxing. Go ahead and take your time. We have come today to affirm that even in the midst of chaos, crisis, inequities, and social disparities, we know first we must abide in the presence of God. The breath that sustains us, the source that connects us, even in the midst of social distancing. The force that calls us to build our beloved communities. Just breathe.
Feel the presence of the Spirit entering this moment. You are not alone. Feel the presence of the Spirit entering our space. We are not alone. As we juggle the experiences of our changing realities and new routines within the confines of our own homes, let us never forget to breathe and to pause so that we can slow down our racing minds. Just breathe.
We pause to acknowledge that though we're all living through the same critical times, our worries and our anxieties during this crisis are far from the same.
We pause to recognize that the systems of capitalism, racism, classism, heterosexism, and all the other many isms are evils stronger than a virus. And they intend to destroy what God has created good, very good.
We pause. Pause as an act of resistance, because rest should not be a privilege. Rest is a God-given gift.
We pause as a practice of accepting our limits, recognizing we don't have to figure it out in this moment or all by ourselves, but that we must work together in bringing God's love, justice, and mercy on earth as it is in heaven.
Buenos dias, I am Lorna Hernandez, and I serve as the director of the People to People Pilgrimage Program for Global Ministries. I bring you greetings from Global Ministries co-executives, Julia Brown Karimu and Karen Georgia Thompson. My task this morning is to introduce you to Michael Joseph and Yazmín Novelo, as they will be sharing a song and reflection with us today. However, I am sure many of you already know them. Michael served faithfully for 4 terms in the country of Colombia as a Global Ministries mission co-worker, and most recently, along with his wife, Yazmín Novelo, Michael is working in a new initiative in Yucatan, Mexico, around interculturality and peace. We are grateful for Michael and Yazmín's commitment to peace with justice and reconciliation efforts wherever they are led to serve, and it is my honor to present them to you this morning. So I leave you with Michael and Yazmín.
Hello, my name is Yazmín.
And I'm Michael.
We are co-founders of Nojolo'on, the Community Peace Center in Peto, Yucatan. We want to share with you a song written by Armando Canché, Times for Living. This song is about living the present, living what you are doing today and where you are.
Times for living.
Tiempo de vivir de Armando Canché nos habla de la importancia de pensar en el presente.
Times for Living by Armando Canché calls us to think about living in the present.
Pensar en el presente nos permite ver con el corazón.
To think about the present enables us to hear with our heart.
No podemos ver con el corazón las inequidades que están a nuestro alrededor si no estamos en el momento en el que están sucediendo cosas, situaciones.
And to see with our heart, and we're not able to see with our heart if we're not living in the present. We're not able to see the inequality and the things that are going on around us.
Estamos viviendo momentos difíciles, pero mirar esa condición difícil es una condición, es un requisito para poder reconocer aquello en lo que debemos trabajar.
We are living in challenging times or difficult times, but having an openness to see the challenges, to see the difficulties that are going on around us is a requirement for us to be able to work on improving those difficulties.
Así que no debemos estar en el pasado o en el futuro, sino centrarnos en lo que tenemos hoy. Y eso fue algo que experimentamos directamente con Nojolo'on.
So we don't need to be in the past or in the future. We need to be focused on what today is offering us. And that's something that we recently experienced with the Nojolo'on Community Peace Center that Yazmín and I have co-founded. It's something that we've been dreaming about for a long time. Yazmín had been dreaming for many years of starting a community peace center in her hometown of Peto. And I joined this dream a couple of years ago when I met Yazmín. And then we got married a year ago and really started planning this community peace center. And we had been planning to launch this year, and then the pandemic hit. And we had a decision to make. We thought, well, maybe we should have launched sooner before the pandemic started, or maybe we should wait and launch later once this is all passed. And our first project was going to be working with youth from Peto, bringing them together for a series of workshops over weekends, camping out together, and spending a lot of time together talking about Mayan models of leadership and how they could be community organizers and agents of positive change in their communities, working for holistic health in Peto. Health thought about as physical health, mental health, and spiritual health. But of course we knew that coming together physically over weekends and coming out together wasn't going to be possible, so we had to put a pause on that project. And this challenge of seeing and listening with your heart for us has meant listening to the youth in Peto, knowing that they're going through challenging times, being stuck at home during the quarantine there. So we've decided that what we can do at this time is perhaps offer a virtual gathering and to continue to listen to them through technology, through Zoom meetings and things like that, to hear how they're doing and to go back to that question of how they're doing physically, mentally, and spiritually, and listen to our hearts and communicate with our hearts through that internet connection until that time that we can come together physically.
Así que tenemos que tener el corazón abierto, el pensamiento abierto a todas las situaciones que el presente requiere que atendamos.
So we have to have our hearts open and our thinking open to this present moment and what this present moment has to teach us about the things that we need to be doing.
Esta pandemia es una dificultad que estamos atravesando, pero también nos permite mirar con crudeza todas las situaciones de inequidad que están a nuestro alrededor.
And this pandemic is a challenge, is a difficulty that we're living through, but it also allows us to see, sort of in a very raw way, some of the inequality that's going on around us.
Mujeres que tienen que trabajar el triple en sus casas, comunidades que no tienen acceso a la información en sus lenguas, información sobre el COVID-19, entre otras inequidades.
Particularly, we're thinking of women who are having to work 3 times as much now that everybody's at home to take care of their homes. So there's this inequality towards many women. Communities that are facing challenges like the Mayan community, where there's a challenge to get good quality information out about COVID-19 in their indigenous language.
Así que abramos nuestro corazón y miremos en el presente cuáles son esas inequidades en las que podemos trabajar.
So we open our hearts and we look to see what are some of those inequalities that we can work on.
Les agradecemos que estén con nosotros y les damos gracias también por el trabajo que realizan.
So we thank you for being with us today, and we thank you for the work that you're doing. What are some of those ways that you're opening your heart to this present moment to look at the inequalities that are around you and to take a stand for equality and to work for equality? We know that you're doing that, and we thank you so very much.
Thank you.
May God bless you.
Let us ready ourselves for the benediction. May our hearts listen to the Spirit. May our hearts do as the Spirit tells us. May our hands and feet be there where the Spirit leads us. May we continue breathing God's creative, sustaining, and transforming power. Amen.
Let's take together another deep Breathe. Amen. 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 From the south to the north, from the east to the west, from los barrios to the suburbs, let's share our hopes and struggles together, and let's fight for inequality. And never forget that we all have to be present, stop, and breathe. We are thankful for everyone who made possible today's SoulCare. Yazmín, Novelo, and Michael Joseph, Lorna Hernandez, who works at Global Ministries and is the director of People-to-People Pilgrimages, Reverend Bere Hill Soto, who is MBA peer group convener and a pastor of Iglesia Hermandad Cristiana in Indianapolis. And we are excited and proud of the MBA equity team who was part of today's SoulCare, Reverend Darnell Fenno, who is the MBA Director of Social Entrepreneurship, Evan Stanfield, who is an MBA Explorer and is part of the equity intern, Gary Zimmerman, who is MBA Chief Financial Officer and VP of Administration, Reverend Monica Wetlock Patrick, who is the Associate VP of Organization Development, and this your friend and servant, Reverend Hector Hernandez, who is the Connect Coordinator of MBA. So when the world is full of injustice, we are thankful for God's reminders of grace, and we are thankful for God's calling for us to do justice, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with Him and with our neighbors. Just breathe.